Hello, and welcome to the Rebuild Recovery Podcast, where we talk all things recovery. This is not just about how to get clean, but how to stay clean and rebuild a life that is worth staying clean for. My name is Hayden Thorne, and today we're going to talk about something that will sabotage your recovery and potentially trigger a relapse. Toxic people. Yep, toxic people. You know that mate you always need to save, or that ex who keeps showing up when you're doing well, or even that family member who says that they will support you, but deep down, they just want you to stay the same. Why? Because it makes them feel better about them not growing. Let's be honest. Some people around you don't want to see you win. They want to see you stuck. They want you doubting yourself, and you've been letting it slide for way too long because you don't want to cause a drama. But here's the thing. You're not rebuilding anything if you keep letting broken people hold the hammer. For me, I kept certain people around way too long. I told myself it was loyalty, but nah, it was fear. Fear of being alone, fear of confrontation, and fear of being the bad guy. But let me tell you, every time I said yes to them, I was saying no to me. I was choosing avoidance over progress, and eventually I had to face the fact that it wasn't the drugs that were keeping me stuck anymore. It was the people. So why do we keep toxic people around? It's simple. Guilt, fear, and because they are familiar. You don't want to let them down by cutting them off. You're scared of being on your own, and sometimes that dysfunctional just feels normal, especially if you've lived in chaos for most of your life. But avoidance will kill your growth. Familiar doesn't mean safe. It just means you've been tolerating this shit for way too long and it feels normal. You want to know if someone's toxic? Well, here's the test. After hanging around with them, are you more relaxed or are you more rattled? Do they bring you peace or do they bring you drama? Are they pumping you up or are they pulling you down? If you have to be a different person around them, well, that's not a healthy relationship. That is a toxic relationship. And look, I get it. You don't want to hurt anyone, but keeping people in your life just to keep the peace, well, that's not peace. That's the kind of shit that turns into resentment, self-abandonment, and then potentially a relapse. So how do you let them go? Well, the hard truth is you already know the people who need to go. You've known for a while. You've just been hoping that they will change, but you are not the babysitter to adults. You're not here to convince anyone to treat you better. You're here to build a strong, free, and purpose-driven life, and that takes standards. You don't always need the big dramatic blow-up either. Just slowly stop replying. Stop entertaining the bullshit. Stop giving them a second, third, and 10th chance. People get access to you based on how they respect what you're building. And if they don't, well, they're out. Yeah, it's going to hurt. You're not just losing them, you're letting go of a version of you at some point needed them. But just because they were part of your past, it doesn't mean that they need to be part of your future. And if your healing makes them feel uncomfortable, well, they were never for you in the first place. I'll give you an example. I've got a mate who keeps asking me every time I see him if I want a beer, even though he knows that I'm in recovery. That's not being funny, that's being a dickhead. Or that family member who guilts you and talks shit about you for changing. They're just scared that your growth is going to expose their excuses. Stop the contact, love them from a distance, and move on. Here's something you can do right now. Think of 5 people that you talk to most. Go through them one by one and ask yourself, do I like who I am around this person? Do I walk away feeling stronger, clearer, and more focused, or do I feel drained, like I've just walked back into my old life? You've got to be ruthless with your circle. Not because you think you're better, it's because your mission demands it. You've got your recovery to protect, a legacy to build, and people to lead. You can't do that by dragging dead weight around and hoping that one day they will change. You're not here to play it small anymore, to make everyone else feel comfortable. You're here to rise up, to lead, and to break the cycle and even generations of addiction. And you can't do that with one foot back in the past and holding on to people who don't want to see you grow. Toxic people will keep you addicted to the doubt, to the guilt, to who you used to be. And letting them go is how you finally start becoming who you really are. So if no one has told you this yet, no more Mr. Nice Guy. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to protect your peace. It's okay to outgrow people who want to stay the same. Let them say and think whatever they want. Let them call you selfish, but you know you're not being selfish. You're rebuilding. That's not rejection. That's you taking care of your new life and your new recovery. Thank you for listening to the Rebuild Recovery podcast. And if this hits home for you, pass it on to someone who needs to hear it. Remember, this podcast is not about getting clean. It's about rebuilding a life that's worth staying clean for. My name is Hayden Thorne. And if you're interested in the Rebuild program, you can find me on Facebook, send me a message, and I'd love to have a chat. Have a great day, fellas, and let's keep rebuilding.